So this is Amy, and she has pretty severe rheumatoid arthritis, although her feet are not horrible at this point. And so we're gonna just clean up some of the nails for her, and then on the bottom we'll see some of the calluses that are pretty typical with rheumatoid. So, kind of talk about you like you're not here, okay?
Okay.
All right. So you just for the first time since the diagnosis started on a biological.
Yeah, for the last about year and a half.
Okay. And has it helped?
Yes, eventually it did. I had to get up to 700 and then I can't go any higher because of my weight.
Because you're teenage.
Yeah. So sometimes they let me weigh my purse too.
Funny. Okay, let's just hop over to the other side. Your mother ran
And
over
it
this
took a
time?
long time for that nail to grow back. It's just finally growing back.
This one?
Yeah.
Your mother ran over it with
Which she has
a
an
car?
electric,
Like a scooter.
A scooter, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
ouch. Did it break it?
I don't
Well,
know.
we'll
I
see that
just-
when we take the x-ray.
I just hurt a lot. And
Okay.
then
Ouch. What age were you when you were diagnosed with rheumatoid?
36 or 37.
Okay, which is pretty typical.
Yeah.
And what were your first symptoms?
I had a couple of joints in my proximal interphalangeals, PIPs,
Of your
That-
fingers?
of my fingers that were swollen.
Mhm.
And I had had a car accident, and I thought it was a result of the car accident, but they told me maybe I had my mother's disease. And so
So she also had rheumatoid arthritis?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And so I eventually went to see the person referred me to a hand surgeon, and the hand surgeon told me, he just glanced at me and said, "Oh, you've got rheumatoid arthritis." And I said, "How do you know?" And he just kept insisting I had it. And eventually, he insisted he'd be doing hand surgery on me. And I said, "The H you will." And I left his office and never came back. And then a number of months later, like maybe a year later, I finally, some friends of mine, I went into complete denial.
Mm-hmm.
And some friends of mine who were, one of my very good friends who's a psychotherapist, was dating a person who was in charge of a pain clinic, and she suggested I see him, and I went to see him 3 or 4 times. And eventually he did a blood test and had me, and got kind of shocked and said, "I don't know if it's this or this or this or this or cancer or that, whatever."
Nice.
And so then I went to see Dr. Dorman. It took some time and finally diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis.
Well, and you understand now why that hand surgeon knew,
Yes.
just by looking at
Yes.
you, yeah, because there's very specific deformities that come
Yeah.
with rheumatoid.
But I sure didn't want that, and
I don't blame you. You probably watched your mom go through.
oh, I did. I used to have to open all the jars for her and, do things that she couldn't do for herself. And it was hard for her.
How many years have you had these pressure points on the bottom of your foot here?
Oh, quite some time. When I was taking a yoga class about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe from that or maybe from some other source, I got what's it called? A wart down there, and it was so painful. And it took a long time to go away. I eventually got it to go away with some essential oils.
Okay.
But I did go and see a podiatrist thinking it was back, and he trimmed it, and it wasn't. It was just blood under the surface. And he gave me some cream to put on there that keeps it soft, but I just I've been too busy to use it. I
Okay.
didn't use it.
So with the rheumatoid arthritis, and we'll see this when we look at the x-ray, what happens is as these toes start to dislocate up on the top, they push that bone down into the ground. And that's why you have these pressure points you have. This is an MRI view of the normal toe that's sitting in front of that metatarsal head, so everything is nice and flat. But here you can see the hammer toe where the toe is sitting up on top of that metatarsal head, pushing it down into the ground, and that's what causes the pressure points. You have it on the other foot, you have it right here and here. And here you've got it similar places, but you also have the pretty severe callus over it on the left. So we can accommodate for those if, oh, this is still a wart. Is this where the wart was?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, this is still a wart.
Oh.
But we'll talk about ways that we can treat it, or if you want to just do what you did before, that's fine too. But anyway, so there's very characteristic types of calluses that we see with rheumatoid arthritis, and these are pretty consistent with that. So that's a callus, I'm pretty sure that's a callus right here. This one happens to be a wart with a callus over the top of it.
Shoot.
Well, not the end of the world. I mean,
It's
we
so
can.
hard to get rid of.
They are, but we'll talk about some various options of things that we can do. Or, again, if you wanted to just work with your essential oils, again, that would be okay. But we got to stay on top of it and make sure that it's gone and that it stays gone.
Yeah.
So. Now, some bleeding into the callus is pretty consistent with rheumatoid arthritis also.
Okay.
We see that a lot. With diabetics, with rheumatoid arthritis, and a couple other types of, couple other, I want to say disease states, but conditions.
I don't think I have diabetes. I have two brothers who were juvenile onset diabetics, but I haven't been diagnosed with that at this point.
No, but with the rheumatoid arthritis, that's also one that we see,
Okay.
where you get the bleeding into the callus, which...
But that isn't why this is happening necessarily.
No, why this is happening is that your toes have dislocated up on top of the bone that they
Right.
should be in front of. And when they sit on top of that bone, they push it down into the ground and it gets too much pressure. So that's why the inserts that we're going to make you will have little drop-offs under these spots for comfort and so that they don't come back as quick.
Correct.
Sometimes we do need to surgically fix it, but I don't think we're even at the point of talking about that yet. Okay. Okay, so this is going to feel a ton better for walking on, as you move towards your goal of walking again.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk a little bit about treating the wart, and then we'll get the x-rays and the orthotics going on the way out. Okay?
Okay.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us about what it's like with the rheumatoid arthritis.
You don't want to do this on the other one.
There's nothing to trim,
Oh,
and
good.
yeah, that I'll do
Good.
just a little bit, but.
All right, thank you.